that sent me the message that it's going to take a little time. I didn't expect anything huge to happen this weekend, but if you listen to some people, they think it still was a great weekend based on the type of talent that they had in town. So love to get your thoughts on that as well. We can talk Bama basketball, SEC basketball. That's going to be going on this week. A huge week in basketball, especially for the Tide. They're going to go to Auburn, Alabama. Now they're right in first place. Auburn's sitting right there after the loss to Alabama. They lost after Alabama, but they're sitting right there, which a lot is on the line in this basketball game. So Nate Oates and the boys getting ready to travel down another week of rivalry for the Tide against the Tigers of Auburn, so we can talk about that. Finally, before I pass on to the boys at Tuscaloosa, I don't know if you watched the Grammys last night. Taylor Swift won two Grammys as she gets ready to go to Tokyo for a concert and then fly 12 hours right after the show back to the Super Bowl. But she wasn't the show. Everybody get on Taylor Swift. The show was about Tracy Chapman. The show was all about Tracy Chapman, and we got to put that music, Fast Car, in our bumper today because I don't think she played live in God knows forever. But if you know that song, what an amazing song. It was a big deal over there. That was, I mean, to me, that was about, oh my God, that was so awesome. Her performing, I hadn't seen her since she was like the little Tracy Chapman, you know, with the guitar, you know, the little acoustic. And Luke Combs, who sang with her, was phenomenal. I mean, I'm tell you what, I think she got the #1 song right now on probably any music outlet, Spotify, whatever you own, Apple, because her and Luke last night was simply amazing. But we have to play some of that for you on today. Back in Tuscaloosa, I heard it's been raining like cats and dogs down there. Folks are sick, wiping noses. I hope Christian sprayed down the studio again. I could hear hairs. I tuned in early. Heard him sounding not too good. He wasn't in the studio, but make sure you take care of yourself and each other down there. Noah, what will your last name be this week?
I think I'm going to go with Noah Paxton.
Paxton.
Noah Paxton is producing the show today. Noah Paxton. May I ask, where did you get Paxton from?
Isn't there someone named Bill Paxton? That's a person, right?
I know a guy named Wix Paxton, I believe. I think he's an artist. I think he played football.
I think Bill Paxton is the guy he's thinking like is on like one of the ESPN 1000 shows or something like that.
I mean, it works. It flows.
All right. Noah Paxton is producing the show. He'll be bringing that bumper
any
music.
Of those.
Yeah, so whatever. Call him Noah Paxton. And Christian Miller, two-time national champion, captain. Carolina Panthers is down there hanging out in Tuscaloosa. How'd your weekend go?
Went good. I went to the basketball game, and, you know, it honestly looked like football for a second. You know, we were up so much that people were leaving with a lot of time left. But I guess that's a testament to how well this team's been playing. I mean, Mississippi State didn't really stand a chance. But, yeah, so I went to the basketball game. It was eventful. You know, we had gymnastics Friday. I think they lost. But basketball came up big. So, you know, it was a fun little weekend here. I got into this game, though. It's like a board game. You know, me and my friends, our friend group, we like playing, like, board games and cards and all type of stuff. Well, there was this game that Savannah had found, and it was it's like a mystery game. You have to solve a mystery, like a murder mystery. And, like, the game, like, that comes with, like, all these details, and you got to put it together. They've got, like, stuff on a website that that you have to use for, like, clues as well. They have, like, confessions that you have to watch. You have to determine who the culprit is. I don't know. It's really cool, though, and I'm not going to lie. We spent time on it early in the day, went to the basketball game, did all this stuff, and then we ended up finishing it, like, 11-something Saturday evening. So that was fun. I'm into stuff like that. I like playing things that get your mind thinking, but I don't even remember the name of it. But it was.
That's what I was about to ask.
It made me feel like I was a detective.
Wow.
I grew up watching Law and Order, so, like, you know, I think that stuff's cool. But anyway, it definitely was good. But I don't know if you saw, and you know, I'm just gonna shoot it down. Pretty much fake news, but supposedly there was articles that Alabama was being accused of tampering, and that they were reaching out illegally. There you go, Noah. That's what I felt like Saturday.
That's very fitting, by the way, to Law and Order and the tampering.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, well, that too. But yeah, so allegedly, I guess Arizona's quarterback is it Noah Fafita? I'm having a hard time with some of these names. But anyway, I guess there were some reports that Alabama and another couple schools had reached out to him before he was in the portal. Well, that's fake news, folks. Obviously, we put that in the title because we got to talk about it. But there's no exciting news there. His father actually came out and basically shot down all those allegations or reports and said that it's absolutely fake, blatant lies, just the world we live in, I guess. Never have I spoken to Coach DeBoer or anybody from his camp. Crazy these dudes hound you to talk and then spit out crap for likes and views. Just literally had this talk with my high school kids about doing things. So obviously it's fake news, but he wasn't too happy with how it went. But see, and that's the problem, man. Sometimes, like, I don't know if people intentionally spew things out that aren't true or they twist things, but the media's got to be better about that, or journalists or whoever was, writing that, because, I mean, that's some pretty serious stuff, right? And that's not, a good label, but I was just curious, though, if it was true, that definitely would have been a huge kind of, because, I mean, again, if you're, trying to get a guy like that, I mean, Arizona's quarterback is a very, solid football player. That definitely wouldn't bode well for a guy like Jalen Milroe and company here. But obviously, it's fake news, nothing to worry about. Alabama was not caught tampering. So we can go ahead and shoot that down. But definitely something to talk about. I'm still waiting to see is there any update on these Michigan players? Anything? Anybody? I'm saying, like, is anybody from Michigan in the portal, or is there any news? I'm just saying.
Michigan not going to lose any guys.
You don't think they'll lose any? I knew it wasn't going to be anything.
They might, but I'm just saying, think about this. Michigan had a bunch of 3-4 stars. Michigan wasn't flooded with a ton of 5-star players.
They had some good talent.
No, they weren't. They're not. They didn't have Alabama's roster.
I'm gonna look at the recruiting class while you talk.
Look at all you want, but they didn't have Alabama's roster. And the fact is, people are training right now, getting ready for spring, and their roster was not going to take that type of a hit. One, a lot of guys are going. The top players probably going on to the National Football League. Number two, Sharon Moore, the new head coach of Michigan, guys are not just going to jump out of the boat.
Right.
And that's what we've been saying about hiring somebody that's on staff. If you bring in somebody up, Michigan had the perfect storm, right? They had the perfect storm. The guy that's already led them, a guy that's coached, in 3 games, what it was just this past season, guy that was crying on the post-game interview about Jim Harbaugh. It's my coach, man. It's my coach, man. We love you. This is for you. All of that drama. And then there you go. I mean, they're not going to be Alabama. Everybody was looking to get Alabama's guys because this was the number 2, number 1 ranked roster the last couple of years. I mean, think about the last 3 years, they've been 1 and 2.
Right. Well, Michigan, real quick, just before I forget, Michigan was had the 9th ranked recruiting class in 2022. So that's top 10. That's solid. And for
what were they last year?
Last year they were 17th.
That's what I'm telling you.
I mean, but I'm just saying. I mean, they still got. Look, they're a national championship winning football team. They're going to have solid football players.
It doesn't matter because Jim Harbaugh is gone. Them dudes did what they did. Their best players. I mean, J.J. McCarthy. You got Cora, and them guys are gone. Right. So I said this before this even happened. When we were speculating about Jim Harbaugh leaving for the National Football League, I told you that their roster wasn't going to be the same thing like Alabama.
I didn't think it was.
Alabama, Nick Saban's been recruiting 1 and 2 for years. This roster is loaded.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, I agree, but
then you got a guy in Kalen DeBoer that nobody even ever heard of in the Southeast. You make this guy your head coach. So, yeah, a guy's going to be looking. Right. I mean, Michigan is good. You get them 6 months, ain't nobody touching that.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I still would think with the team that's coming off a national championship,
no matter.
People would be interested in some of their players, and I get that they weren't going to have the same level of exits, considering promoting from within and all that good stuff. I just still thought, I mean, with the relationship between Courtney Morgan, who I actually met this week, and I forgot it. I ran up to the complex, and they were in the middle of junior day. I met Courtney Morgan. I think I met might have been a tight ends coach. Nice folks, but anyway, yeah. So I just thought with the connection there might have been a couple guys that got in the portal, maybe wanted to, earn an opportunity here. Maybe they weren't seeing, playing
That
time at
maybe Courtney
Michigan, and
Morgan,
maybe
who used to work at Michigan, you thought maybe his relationships might lure a couple of guys to Tuscaloosa.
I mean, wouldn't you think? Like, imagine that there's a guy or two on Michigan's roster that they're not necessarily seeing the playing time, or it's not going as expected. And here's Alabama. There's a lot of holes to fill. Courtney Morgan's here. Maybe he would, provide some,
They didn't
opportunities
have a
for
roster
some guys.
like that. Now this is Ohio State. If this is Ryan Day leaving, and it was the Buckeyes roster, you best believe folk been at that.
Yeah,
But Michigan, this is why people love Jim Harbaugh, because he can take a team that's not flooded with 5 stars and still beat down his rival Ohio State and beat Alabama. Think about it, they beat Ohio State and Alabama, 1 and 2. George Powell was in that mess too, but 3 and recruited. Jim Harbaugh got them beat down.
Well, let me ask you
guys
this.
that have just got football players because he developed and he gave them a system of physicality that mimicked the National Football League.
Well, let me ask you this real quick before we go to break. If you're giving Jim Harbaugh that credit for winning with lesser talent, shouldn't you give the same credit to a guy like Kalen DeBoer, who did it at a place like Washington with even less talent than a place like Michigan?
You gotta always try to get down to Kalen DeBoer. What are you even talking about then?
No, I'm asking. I'm genuinely asking. Don't you think that's fair for you to
I'm not putting Kalen DeBoer in Jim Harbaugh's category.
No, but I'm just saying on what they did.
I give him credit. But I'm not giving the credit everybody else is giving him. We got to go to break. But here's what I want to throw out there, though, because I know the fans want to chime in on this one. Where is Kalen DeBoer in recruiting? I hear people say, oh, he's doing an outstanding job, and oh, wow, he's on the trail, and he's doing this, that, and the third. And we talked about this last week. The guys that he coming back, you give him partial credit. But he's still rocking and rolling with Nick Saban dudes. And I heard Nick Saban's supposed to come back to his post this week. I don't know how true that is. But I think Nick Saban need to get back here quick. Because Junior Day, they got no love. Say what you want to about the guys he had in there. I didn't see no commitment. I saw pictures. Cheese. But I ain't see any commitments. And what dudes is he just out here getting? What commitments is he out here getting? I mean, people are quick to give him all this recruiting love, but where's the evidence? You got a general manager now. No. They got a general manager. Yeah, this is not the NFL. This is college. Where do you rate the job that he's done on the recruiting trail right now to this day? I think it takes time. I think it's going to take a while. But where do you have Kalen DeBoer, head coach of Alabama, right now? That's what we'll discuss. After this break, we're sponsored by our good friends at the Good Feed Store, America's Art Support Experts. Don't forget to download that free Tide 100.9 app. We'll get your questions, thoughts, comments right there. This is the Tide 100.9, the home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports. Quick timeout. Back in a moment.
Dog parents are loving Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend Premium Dog Food.
The way she acts and the way she moves, it's just so much better. And she's like a puppy again. It's unbelievable.
Dr. Marty's Nature's...
What's up, everybody? Hope everybody had a good weekend. Roll Tide, Elijah, what's going on, man? Appreciate that. G-Man, what's up, man? You can, G, Jeff, Sam, what's up, everybody? He's only going after offensive players. I don't think that's true. And if anything, he needs to be. It needs to be the opposite. We have a lot more holes to fill defensively. So I would definitely definitely go after some defensive guys. Sounds like Corey hates the new coach. I think honestly, I think he just is doing it for radio at this point. Yeah, I don't know. You guys know me. I try to reel him back in and try to. I don't know. I know he's old school and all that good stuff, but I think he just likes kind of stirring the pot at this point. We have to go hard after D-line. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Brian. I think, well, really, I would say secondary guys. I think first and foremost, you need some cornerbacks. I mean, that's where we got hit the worst. We honestly have a decent amount of defense linemen right now. So I would say cornerbacks first. Yeah, I agree, Jeff. The truth is, this is going to take time. They're still hiring people, right? We're still hearing names kind of being rolled out in the recruiting staff. Um, so I think he's doing everything that he needs to do, I think it's unrealistic to just expect instant results, especially given that he just got here. They're still assembling the staff. It's going to be hard to instantly have guys committing left and right. But now, when I went up to the facility though, now there's a lot of kids there. A lot of kids on visits. Brian, no, you definitely can't control him. I try to I try my best to just tell him, like, look, man, like don't get me in trouble with these takes. But he's his own person. He has his views. I respect them. Don't agree with them, but I respect them. That's why I always try to call him out, when he's kind of having a double standard, just like the Jim Harbaugh thing. You praising Jim Harbaugh on winning with lesser talent, but they're not really giving giving that same respect to Coach DeBoer in the same situation. Is Coach Saban going to play any part in recruiting out for Alabama? That's a good question, Teddy. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it would be. If he does, maybe give a call here and there if they feel like it'd be helpful. But I personally, I don't. He's retired, right? I don't think it'd be fair to have him, day in and day out recruiting guys. It's not his job. I think he could probably help out if there's a guy that really wants to, get on the phone with. A nice little quick conversation. But that's just me speculating. I don't know. The field you get over at the facility from the players.
Edge here on Tide 100.9. How awesome was that? Luke Combs, Tracy Chapman last night during the Grammys. By the way, the #1 trending song right now on iTunes. That's pretty awesome. Hadn't heard from Tracy in a long time, but that was something special. 205-342-9904. We threw out the question, where do you rank Kalen DeBoer, the job that he's doing right now to date? Junior Day just happened. No recruit said, yes, I'm committed to you, Kalen. I want to be at Bama. Could happen this week. Could happen on X. Who knows? But nothing. I said to a person last night that I thought it was going to take a little time. Courtney, the guy that you met, the general manager, Courtney Morgan, tweeted, the love for Alabama football is something serious. I'm kind of paraphrasing that in his X last night. It's like, I think Kevin DeBoer said something similar to that. They better recognize how serious this is. This ain't about just taking pictures with high school coaches and players while you're on the trail to say, hey, we're on the road. That's expected, right? That's nothing to be like calling home to mama about. That's what you're supposed to do. It is serious, Christian. And right now, before we go to the phones, they got to step this thing up. People are looking for them, people to say yes to Alabama, but let's just be real about it. As I said to this person on X last night, whether people realize it or not, you can tell me about the wins and accolades of Kalen DeBoer. Nick Saban was that dude. And Nick Saban made the A. It was like taking a program that was already with history and everything else, but Nick Saban, what he did to the A, the power of the A, is something people I don't think realize the hit that it may take. by him not being here, what he meant to Alabama football, what he meant to high school kids who wants to come in, what he meant to college players that would have had a chance to transfer through the portal to come here. I think they're going to see what it really means, and I think it opens the door for other teams in the SEC to say, listen, yeah, I know Kalen DeBoer's a good guy and works hard, but come to the SIP, come to the Aggie Nation's 12th man. Come to Georgia Bulldogs. We've taken the place of Alabama football. You're going to see some of this stuff happen right now. Right now. Your thoughts real quick before we go to Mike and Opelika.
I mean, the same old thing. I think if you're being that critical of them already, I mean, you're not being realistic, right? I mean, they've only been in the office. I'm saying you or anybody else. No, I mean, it comes off being critical. I mean, just, oh, they didn't get it. Like, it just, in my opinion, I mean, that's just unrealistic. I mean, he just got here. They're still in the middle of assembling a staff. You know, I don't know how you would expect them to have commits coming left and right. Now, would it have been great to capitalize a big junior day with a commit? Sure. But again, I mean, people are still kind of getting used to everything. They're still figuring everything out, and that's okay. I think that's part of the process. Like you said, I mean, we didn't have a situation when we were promoted from within, right? I mean, they're still hiring, you know, recruiting people, staffers for the recruiting department as we speak. So all I know is, I mean, like I said, I just happened to be going by the facility, and when I went in there, I met Courtney Morgan. Wasn't even intentionally. I really was just grabbing a drink while I was walking by. Then I knew Jamie was up there when hollered at him and the guys in the D-line room. They had a D-line room full of recruits. So, I mean, there's a lot of defensive linemen that they had on this visit. I didn't, you know, walk around and see everything else. But I will say the feedback I got was a lot of kids enjoyed the visit. A lot of guys enjoyed their time here on campus. And I think that's a great start. I think we're just being, not weird, because I'm not, but I think some people are just a little too harsh when it's like, we need this right now. I mean, again, today's February 5th. It's been less than a month, right? Less than a month. And he came from Washington, so he wasn't probably recruiting half of these guys that they're just now recruiting. So a lot of these relationships between this new staff and these kids are just being formed outside of the ones that, you know, Freddie Roach or Robert Gillespie already had, right? So it's going to take time, and I think that's fine. I think, you know, realistically this year, we all know this football team is going to be the same kind of holdover from, you know, Coach Saban's tenure, right? Outside of, you've got the three guys from the portal from Washington, the one kid, Noah Carter, who's now signed here. Other than that, everybody else is, you know, from, you know, Coach Saban's tenure. We'll see in April. We'll probably get a few transfer portal guys, but I think this season will, again, you know, I'm not saying it's a mulligan, but this is going to be their kind of growing pain season. Not necessarily saying we're going to struggle, because you got the talent, but as they kind of work out the kinks, I mean, they're kind of bringing their guys in. There's still some people here. Everybody's trying to figure out how this is going to work. Like, I know on the outside in the media, everybody makes it seem like it's so seamless, but the whole transition has not been seamless, and that's okay. I mean, they're figuring it out, and I think the recruits will come as they get to know. I mean, all these recruits have nothing to say, nothing but good things to say about Coach DeBoer and his staff, and I think what will happen is as they get more familiar with him, you know, things will start to slowly fall in place. But I just think it's still way too soon to start, you know, putting them to the fire. That's just my opinion. I think we still got to give them, I would say, by summer, because honestly, summer is when you see a lot of juniors. They start committing. I committed, I believe, to Alabama July of my junior year. Junior year, summer, I feel like is a big time. Plus, they'll be holding their camps. People will be coming in for football camps. I think that's when we'll start seeing things come. That's what, to me, that's probably the earliest I would say that I would start grading them, because I think that's fair. They'd been on campus for a few months. They've had time to start getting acclimated, had time to start forming some of these relationships, had time to get guys on campus. For all we know, they might be kind of waiting to offer guys to get them on campus. They might be the type of staff that they want to see guys in person.
They ain't doing that. They ain't doing that.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's how Coach Saban was like that.
Because you snooze, you lose in this business.
Well, Coach Saban did it, but he was probably one of the few that could.
Yeah, but that's Nick Saban with 7 national championships.
I understand that. I played for him, but I'm just saying, though, some people are like that. They'd rather see the guys in person before they just extend offers. Everybody's different. But again, I just think it'll take time. But anyway, I'll shut up now. I want to get to the phones and hear their thoughts. So we've got the phone line loaded. So we'll come out this next segment with the phone lines, let you guys take it away, get everybody else's thoughts on this. So let's take a quick time out. You're listening to the Miller's Edge right here on Tide 100.9, 1230 AM WTBC. We are presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport experts. We'll be right back after a quick time out.
Football.
All right, let's see what you guys have to say. I'm gonna read some of these chats, and then we got phone lines loaded already, so we're just gonna let you guys chime in. Both Saban's last two classes didn't get big time recruits until mid-season. That's a good point. I think they were a little bit slower in terms of picking up guys. That's what I'm saying. Summer, I'm telling you, summer is the time when it really starts heating up. I know me personally, I had the perspective that I wanted to get my recruitment, handled before my senior year, so I could just focus on football, focus on enjoying my final year of high school, my friends, all that good stuff. I'm sure other guys think of that too. But then plus all the other factors I labeled, I mean, there's going to be things heating up. I just think right now, I mean, you definitely still see guys committing now, but I think it heats up in a few months. Being from your father's age range, I think for the most part, he's spot on. The game has become weak and all about money. Yeah, no, I don't think it's just an age thing. I mean, I agree. I think anybody would agree with you, William, that right now it's all about money. Yeah, no, NIL is definitely killing college football. And honestly, it's killing recruiting because a lot of recruits, I mean, a lot of it's not even really recruiting. It's more so just negotiating how much somebody's going to get paid, right? Recruiting looks a lot different nowadays. I guess we got an Auburn fan in here. Look, Chris. You guys got to start winning first, man. I think it's way too. I think that's obviously just trolling. But yeah, what are your guys' thoughts? Are you? How do I put this? How do you feel about the recruiting so far? You guys fine with where it's at? Do you think it needs to? You think we're slacking? What do you think? If you guys haven't already, make sure you like the stream. It always helps us out. We appreciate that. All right, here we go.
I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great weekend. We're rocking and rolling on the Miller's Edge on the Tide 100.9, 1230 AM WTBC. Don't forget to download that free app. Ask your questions there. We got a banker phone call, so let's get right to it. Let's go to Mike in Opelika. Mike, good Monday, sir. Hope you're doing well.
Doing well. Hope y'all had a good weekend.
Great, sir. Thank you.
But no, I agree with Christian to look at what he's done so far, and whether you're critical or raising questions, go back the last 2 years. Alabama fans were panicking. This time of year, even through halfway through summer, our class was in the high to mid-20s. I remember Andrew Bone would come on Gary Harris' show, and Gary was like, man, Alabama fans are panicking. What's going on? And he would be like, it's going to work itself out. Just wait. A lot of these guys want to take their visits and all of that. And when the Thompson kid last year went to Clemson, man, the on-3 board exploded. Saban's lost it, blah, blah, blah. What are we going to do? So, it's going to take some time. But look, let's get to the point. Recruiting has changed. It's now the almighty dollar. What are you going to pay me to come play for you? It's relationships are okay, but it's going to come down to strictly, hey, they've offered me this. You got to top that if you want me.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I hate it's come to that. Just like I think this weekend, the big defensive back from Parker committed to Ohio State. And they said even all of last year, before Saban even announced, it was Ohio State, then Auburn, and then Alabama. So I think the one thing with Saban retiring, Alabama's going to have to up their NIL offerings. I don't think there's any doubt about that. What do y'all think?
I agree. You know, there's no choice but to get more heavily involved in the NIL game, because that's what we're seeing right now. I mean, we've heard the reports about Ohio State, what they're dishing out, and that might have just been a number via the transfer portal, right? But they'll definitely have to get more involved, and they'll do that. They'll find a way to, you know, generate some more money in their NIL space to be able to use that in recruiting. We know a guy like Coach DeBoer likes to use the portal. They used it last season. Got you know, a number of guys on that roster that helped them out. So I think that's what we'll see. Just the thing is now, I mean, it seems like high school you even have to, you know, have the right pitch, so to speak. But I think that's a good point. But I really like your point about, you said the last 2 seasons, because now that you bring that up, and someone in our YouTube chat, because we're also streaming again at the Miller's Edge on YouTube, brought that up, that the last 2 seasons, you know, people were also kind of panicking and worried about the recruiting and questioning Coach Saban, like you said. So it's kind of like I said, you know, before we went to break, I think summer is a time when it starts really heating up. And that, to me, would be give me a better metric, I guess, on when I could start saying, you know, we might be a little bit behind in recruiting right now, or we're doing a little bit better than I thought. I think right now it's way too soon. But I think summer is probably the earliest that I think it'd be fair to start raising some concerns or giving some praise.
Well, I don't guess there's any more going to put this cat back in the bag. I'm hoping that alliance with the presidents of the SEC and the Big Ten are going to get together, and I mean, I don't see this ever going away.
I don't either. By the way, I wanted to let y'all know, since we have transitioned to NIL, that Missouri football recently received an anonymous. Here you go. Are you sitting down, Mike? You're not driving?
Yes, sir.
Okay. They got an anonymous $62 million donation. 50 of the 62 earmarked for the stadium enhancements, and $12 million to NIL. $62 million just, I guess, today from an anonymous donor. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Christian, you got to step up, Christian.
Listen, man. You better believe. If you got $62 million to give away, you got to be a billionaire. I mean, you got
yeah, no doubt.
You got some kind of life insurance policy or something, which a lot of these boosters do. Which is it's crazy to me that people actually tie their life insurance to a university. I mean, like,
well, Pastor, when do you think, or do you think Alabama's doing it to all these first-round draft picks that sign these $40, $50 million? Do you go to 30 of them and ask for $1 million?
Absolutely, but we talked about this, Mike, and here's the point. C.J. Stroud, Ohio State made a big to-do of C.J. Stroud a few weeks ago, saying, hey, I'm going to get – he only gave $100,000, but still it's $100,000. And that'd get you some players. He donated that back to the university. The problem is most schools, and I use my school, University of South Carolina, which they're trying to do better, and I've been talking to this for years. A lot of these schools, of course, they use the pictures, they use all the accolades that these kids are getting, right? And they're showing them in the hallway, they're showing the rings, they're showing the All-Americans. But for the majority of the kids, they're not doing things that they should be doing for these young men. So therefore, I'm just telling you I know this for a fact, that most of these guys that you asked about giving back to the school was shunned. They were just like, for what? What are they doing? And do they have anything set up for them at games? Do they have, I think I've been saying, tickets?
Right.
Everything they're saying is like they're having a hard time for former players to get anything done, as far as tickets. Just little things. Let's have a tent where the former players can meet fans. And so that's the problem. You got to find somebody that has good relationships out there that can bring these guys in and try to set up something cool that they can be able to give back. Because I know Nick Saban in Alabama touted this just this last year about the amount of money of these contracts, right? They were saying Alabama football players in the National Football League. I mean, it was hundreds of millions of dollars. But I promise you, they're not getting $300,000 back from these players. That's what I'm saying.
And
That's something wrong with that picture.
one last thing on Michigan. One thing that helped them is, they had 40 seniors on that team. A lot of them were starters, so you really don't know what the backups are. But when Harbaugh left, it was already past the spring semester. So if they transferred, they really couldn't sign anywhere till the summer. So I'm anxious to see how many, and I think you're going to see a ton of teams. I think Ohio State, Texas, I think after the spring, you're going to see a floodgate of top players say, okay, what's the market for me? I'm going in the portal.
You definitely will.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Enjoy your show, and I appreciate you giving me the time.
Absolutely,
yes, sir, Mike.
Mike.
Appreciate you, brother. That's Mike from Opelika. Appreciate the phone call. Let's keep it going. Let's back to the phone lines we go. We got Drew in Nashville. Drew, welcome in, sir.
Thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, absolutely. I just had a quick question on that Sharon Moore talks you guys were having earlier with Michigan. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is there not a rule since they hired from within? That would be different than Alabama going out and getting a Kalen DeBoer, right? Because the 30-day window wouldn't open. Those kids that are at Michigan currently have to they don't have the opportunity to enter the portal until April 15th. Am I wrong?
That I'm not sure. I'm looking right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to pull it up, Drew. But
I thought it's always the same regardless who was hired. I thought if your coach left, and that's what I focused on, leaving. If any coach leaves, therefore there's a 30-day window. Now that's what I thought, but I could have been wrong. But that you saying if they hire from within,
I don't think that. From what I just read, I don't think that matters, Drew. I think they still have the opportunity to that 30-day window still applies to them. But I think it's kind of like Mike was just saying. Realistically, since schools like that enrollment period is done, if they were to transfer now, they wouldn't be able to get into pretty much any school in time to have spring semester classes, and they wouldn't be able to partake in spring practice, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So I think a lot of people are just staying put until post-spring, which, look, with the way college football is now, what's going to happen is if you're not satisfied with where you're at on the depth chart in the spring, when that window opens, there's going to be a plethora of players, not just from the schools that had coaches leagues, but nationally, where guys are saying, it looks like I'm kind of in the too deep. I don't like my odds of playing time here. I'm going to put my name in the portal. And I think it's going to be an influx of guys in the portal. And I think we'll definitely see a handful of guys end up coming to Alabama post-spring for sure.
Absolutely. I do have another question.
So real quick, what you saying because of the calendar, which I was going to get into, that calendar is more of the problem instead of the coach that's being retained, in this case, Sharon Moore. So as you're saying, that because they're so far now in the semester, it'll be kind of hard to transfer.
Right. They wouldn't be able to be enrolled in their new school, which basically says they can't partake in spring practice. So they could transfer, but then they'd miss a whole spring. And what good does that do? Yeah. You're missing out on, installs and I guess you could sit in the meetings, but you're not going to be able to play in the spring. And that's very important for a lot of people. So, yeah. But what was your next question, Drew?
I just had more of a question on getting NIL from former players like y'all were just talking about. And you being as a former player, Christian, I wanted to get your thoughts on this. So if you were obviously in the 2010s range, mid 2010s. Mm-hmm. This wasn't available to you when you were there. Yep. Officially over the table, possibly.
Right.
But how?
I respect that. He's not wrong. Not with me. No, definitely not with me. But like my dad said, even back in the 90s, there was stuff under the table. But yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely. So how do you think former players feel when all of these kids are, coming in and asking for money, and this school's offering me this school's offering me that, and Alabama's going and soliciting these former players that, maybe they've made their millions in the NFL or whatnot. They got their bag, but they didn't have all that quote unquote, in college that some of these kids are getting contract wise, NIL wise.
Yep.
So do you think that would maybe be a deterrent to them saying, look, I did it, find a way type thing?
Look, you're spot on. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's even from everybody that I've asked. A lot of my friends that are still actively playing. I mean, that's kind of the general consensus. I'm not saying they're against or opposed to supporting, but they do have that exact mindset that, hey, we got $120 a month when we were in school, right? And we worked to get to this point. Now you're asking us to turn around and give to these high school kids and these young guys who hadn't necessarily proven themselves out of our hard-earned money. We've worked our whole life to earn this. I know the school definitely helped give us that platform and put us in that position, but I'm just going to be honest with you. It's going to be hard to get a lot of guys to give big money like that. I'm not now, again, a guy that signed a $25 million contract, $50,000, $100,000, and it's a tax write-off. Yeah, sure. But if you're talking about millions of dollars, I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. A lot of guys aren't going for it. And look, because even me personally, like in my head, I'm like, I think how you think, but then I'm also like, at a place like Alabama, like we already, with our success brought in the whole new weight room, right? Like all that stuff that they have is because the guys that came before. Like just like when I got there was a lot of upgrades to Alabama because of the guys before me, and I was appreciative of that. So a lot of people look at it from that perspective as well. But I mean, I'm sure there'll be a couple guys that want to do, but if you're talking about, I just don't know how many guys genuinely would do that. Plus, you got to think, man, a lot of guys come from not the best situations, and they've got families that they have to help out. They've got their own people they've got to help out. So in what order are you going to do that? I mean, you could either give money to a school to help some kids out, or you could say, hey, I can help my family out who's struggling. It's a lot that goes into it, but I think you kind of hit the nail on the head, man. I don't know how receptive a lot of guys will be. Now, some guys, sure, but a lot of them, from what I've gathered, aren't really feeling that.
Yeah, I mean, Drew, I think that's a great question, and I think there's ways that you can formulate a plan to maybe, even just to open the line of communication and what you can do with their dollars. And it may not be going directly to NIL, but, figure out a way that you can sell some jerseys or some autographed memorabilia or something with that money.
Oh yeah, like auction. So that's a great idea. Like have Derrick Henry auction something off and say,
I'm opening up my checkbook and just stroke you a $50,000-$100,000 check.
That
ain't
great
gonna
idea.
happen. But when you utilize their platform and what they're doing, their fame to raise money, then I think it's doable. But I think you got to be creative and kind of develop a type of structure that will, pique their interest. That's what I'm saying. Drew from Nashville, thank you, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Yes,
Roll
sir.
Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. That's Drew from Nashville.
Good
There
stuff.
he goes. KJ in Atlanta, Tommy in Ramos, and others on the phone, 205-342. Let's keep this thing rolling because I think that's very interesting. How do you get the players involved? It ain't going to be just, in our opinion, just an open checkbook. What are those ways? We can talk about that. It's something that I'm doing right now for a collective, by the way, at South Carolina. So we can talk about that. And I want to know, how do you feel that Kalen DeBoer is doing in the recruiting thing, in the arena of recruiting? And I know, but Mike from Opelika said, hey, Nick Saban was ranked, but that's Nick Saban. This is a whole new area right now. So what are your thoughts on what he's done in recruiting? After Junior Day, no commitments, no big commitments right now. I'll let her hear your thoughts. Quick timeout. We'll come back. More of your phone calls on the flip side. Back in a moment.
See, y'all are going back and forth with the guy about Auburn for a minute, but like, let Bama commits prove they want to hold up the Bama standard that you can get paid, toughness, relentless effort, make your opponent quit memory. Hell, I'm with that. I'll donate some money to somebody that demonstrates those qualities, those old school qualities. It's hard to find people like that nowadays, and you can't blame the kids. I mean, they're a product of this environment right now, unfortunately. That's a good point, G. If some schools are on quarters and semesters, that would kind of make things difficult. Louis says it's a big time defensive tackle from Michigan in the portal. Oh. Oh, looks like my dad's in the chat. There you go, guys. So you guys always are asking me about his stuff and his takes. He's in the chat. He'll chat with you right there. Yeah, there's definitely other ways to raise money for sure. I think, and that's what my dad was saying was spot on, right? Because I'm just going to be honest with you. I mean, all my teammates I've talked to, the ones I've talked to, it's not I talk to everybody. Everybody that I've talked to, I mean, they kind of have that mindset that Drew was talking about. It's kind of like, I mean, damn, we didn't get that, we didn't have that. You know, we worked to get to this point, and now you kind of expect us to just pay out of our checkbook like that. I mean, a lot of guys kind of, they're not huge on that idea. But my dad made a good point, though. Instead of asking them just to write a check, like take a guy like Derrick Henry, man, have him auction off some cleats or jersey, stuff like that, and those proceeds can go to. I think that's smart as hell. You could raise a lot of money with stuff like that, or like fundraising events. You know, you pay them their fee to come do an event, and then any of the the net revenue or the profit, I should say, I guess, from that event after all the expenses, if you got to pay them to do a whatever, goes towards it. I think it's smart. What about paid meet and greets? Absolutely, yeah. That's what I'm getting at, Kendry. So like, because obviously you can do it with guys that are here, and that's exactly what NIL is. That's what it should be, like setting it up where they do meet and greets. For instance, we had one over at the T-Mobile store. I don't know if you guys were listening to our show a few months ago, but we promoted it here on this show and had some guys do a meet and greet at T-Mobile. Had a great turnout, right? Stuff like that. I think auctions, stuff like that. Golf tournaments, it's another great way to raise some money, right? If you were to be able to, why don't we hold a golf tournament here? Get a bunch of former players. People pay big money to golf with those guys. That's how these golf tournaments work, right? Donate money to golf with these players, golf on a team, like basically what Coach Saban does with his tournament. I think that'd be smart. Louis says he'll be a regular, man. Appreciate it, man. If you haven't subscribed, man, subscribe. We appreciate it.
Right here on the Tide 100.9, 1230 AM WTBC. Corey Miller, Christian Miller, Noah, and I forgot already what you said
Paxton.
your last name was.
Paxton.
Noah
Paxton, I believe.
Paxton.
That's right.
Yep.
Noah, do you remember John Paxton?
Good friend of mine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
We go way back.
Way back.
Okay. I guess you know him when he was hitting those threes, helping Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls win NBA titles.
Yep, hitting the threes, hitting the homers, all of them.
Nice.
You really sold me on that. Not. All right, let's go right back to the phones. Let's go to Atlanta. Let's go to the ATL. Let's talk with KJ. KJ, welcome in, sir.
Yo.
There he is.
What's up, bro? I know you calling to say how much you
I tried.
You were the
So
church
not
yesterday
hard,
all
man.
day.
I tried not to hard, but you went to talking, so I said I gotta call in, man.
But did I say anything bad today? You agree with what I was saying?
You definitely you said Christian said the right thing. Weird, y'all are being weird, man. I saw like the Kalen DeBoer people, like naysayers, y'all are being weird, man. I don't know why. but it's just weird. Let me ask you a question. And Kalen DeBoer, welcome to Alabama. This is what you have to be crazy to take a job after Nick Saban, but this is what you're going to get. So get used to this. Because people are going to know that you're not Nick Saban, but they're still going to expect the same type of action, which I don't see how that can happen. But, hey, man, you took the job. But, Corey, let me ask you this question.
Okay.
What is what are you basing a successful junior day out of?
For me,
yeah,
I would at
for
least think you get it for Kalen DeBoer. I was thinking that because the fire that that all of the what would be the opposite of naysayers, chapstickers. Well, all the chapstickers would have said, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna get a couple of commits, right? He's gonna get
couple.
Yeah, because you come into Alabama. Here's what I was thinking about the other night. They showed Kalen DeBoer in the office. Man, that office looked like it got raided by everybody. It was like an estate sale happened at Malmore, right? Because there ain't nothing in there but a picture.
I heard they're going through renovations of that office though, but go continue.
Okay, but the thing that's what it looks like at least, right? And I'm like, man, because normally you go in coach's office. Man, he got all them rings on his desk, all them pictures of national championships, the hugging and all that. You see, everything you see is just a reminder of the greatness of Alabama football and the greatness of Nick Saban. Now you go into this office, it's bare booty bone naked, right? It's like
that's
ain't
how I
nothing
feel
there.
like you're being. That's how I feel like you're being weird because
I'm just
still,
saying,
the mystique is still there. You still see the trophies. You still see the
but in
helmets.
the hallway,
that
I'm saying in the coach's office. In the coach's office. And my point to you is
so
this,
you should
KJ.
talk to them outside. What a trophy is.
Okay, my point to you is
like
this.
he can't win. He cannot win.
But my point is this.
SEC schools.
Did you hear me in the beginning?
Commit.
Did you hear me in the beginning?
Nobody got
I
to
said
commit
this.
though.
Nick Saban, say what we want to say. The A is not the same right now. Right? If you was investing in stock, Christian's a big stock market guy. He wouldn't be. He might be investing in the A right now because the stock will be down.
Well, you always buy low. I was about to say, you always buy low.
The stock will be way down
hold
because
on.
of the departure of Nick Saban.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
If any school prominent head coach left right now in this generation, what do you think will happen? Every coach is the face of whatever school that you're looking at. You go to Kirby with Georgia, you go to Ryan Day with Ohio State, you go to any top program. If the coach leaves, the head coach leaves, it's going to be the same thing in this generation.
Yeah.
So why is it just Nick Saban? What do you mean it didn't happen in Michigan? It was an academic calendar, Corey. That stopped. Now let's see what happens post-spring. Let's see what happens then. And you just even said that none of those players, who wants those players at Michigan? But now it's like it didn't happen at Michigan. Like, come on, man. I think you're just being.
Well, you said all the top the program. Michigan was a top program, but that didn't happen. So your point could be correct.
My point is still correct because it happened at an academic calendar. Now let's wait until post-spring to see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's see what waits to have post-spring.
And Harbaugh took, is it Mentor or the defensive coordinator?
He took Jesse Mentor.
He also took
a lot of
special teams coordinator. Yeah. So, I mean, now that there's more coaches leaving from that staff, I wouldn't be shocked, like KJ saying post-spring that Michigan has some guys leave. But I hate to say this, man. I side with KJ though. It's like it seems like they can't do anything right.
Of course.
No, it's due to me, of course. But here's the thing though. You can look. You might think so. I'm not a chapsticker. Look, I'll be honest.
That's the thing. You got to remember exactly. I was the person that saying fire Corey Morgan after one weekend because I was emotional. I'm not come on, man. I'm not.
Are you a fan of Courtney Morgan? Are you a fan?
You know what? I like what he's doing. I do like that they are building and I think other universities are going to do this. Their support staff. We have so many. They're hiring so many director of recruiting and assistant operating recruiting. Way more than what we did last year. I think it's going to be like 12 support staff. Other schools are going to start doing this because that allows.
No, they already. KJ, they already doing that. Dabo has 20 something.
Oh, I didn't know he had that much. But so.
Oh, they got a lot.
I do
Nick
like
Saban
that he's
had
taking
a lot
that.
too, bro.
That's why I was saying he's on the right track. He's doing the necessary steps to put himself in position. That's what I'm saying. I see those things and I'm like, all right, he hired a guy from NC State that's a former high school coach in Georgia. He just hired a GA that coached a kid in Alabama, one of the 5-star cornerbacks, I believe, that was a former Mississippi State defensive back. A lot of these guys, Jim McElwain's son.
That's an NIL deal right there too, by the way.
It could be for sure.
Player will give you a job. That happens all the time.
Maybe, but Jim McElwain's son, Jim McElwain was here, in Coach Saban's earlier years when they were having success. His son is one of the recruiting directors. He's doing the necessary steps to have success on the recruiting side, and that's what I respect. And from what I've heard about him, he's one of these guys. Coach Saban was more so like, micromanaging. We know he had his hand in everything. Coach DeBoer is the type where he's going to hire you, designate you to do your job, and let you do what you do. And I respect that from him. So, like I said, we'll still see. But I think the steps he's taking are the right steps, right? And I think just way too critical, way too soon, is my opinion.
Yep.
KJ, you got something else? I can hold you over. I just want to hit this top of our break. You got something else? Because I can hold you over.
Real quick.
You can just wait till the break.
Keep that thought. Okay. Quick timeout. We'll come back to you, okay? Quick timeout, top of our break. We'll be right back.
WTBC.
Hour number 1 down. If you guys haven't already, man, we really appreciate it. You hit that like button down below. It always helps us out. Roger. Yeah, you guys know what to expect, though. He calls it being real, whatever he calls it. I don't know. I just think we're not weird. I think he's a little, unrealistic with some expectations. The fact of the matter is, replacing Coach Saban, right? Like, I don't know anybody that'd be able to perfectly follow. I don't think you could hire anybody that would be perfectly following them up. So we just gotta keep watching the transition. Like I said, I think they're doing the right thing. They hired somebody else too that I just saw. Another guy they brought a guy from Washington for recruiting. They hired another guy. They hired a handful of people to help out with recruiting. So to me, that shows that he's thinking the right way. That shows that he said, hey, I'm acknowledging that, I need to, get more acclimated in this region. I need to get more acclimated with the recruiting around here. And I'm going to need assistance in doing that. And I respect that, because that's exactly what, anybody with common sense and some humility would do. And that's exactly what Coach DeBoer has done. So I definitely think that's the right move. It's been a month. Wait until April, summer room. Yeah, I agree. That's why I think summer's a fair time if you want to start trying to assess how things are going so far. Again, there's still not even a tell all. There's still plenty more time. But you know what I mean? Like, I think that would be a little more fair if people wanted to be critical around summertime when they've had a few months and things really start kind of opening up. All right, maybe, But I say the same thing even for some of the praise. I think, I'm not saying you can't praise a guy, but sometimes I think people are painting too bright of a picture where we're at right now. This just hadn't had enough time. I think and honestly, I think that's where my dad is kind of coming from. I think he's looking at the people because you got some people that are like here with it, like, right. And there's some people that are just way too negative. Yeah, Sam, he did hire Jim McElwain's son, who was with him at Washington, I believe. Got to push forward. The GOAT is living his best life. Got to support Devo and hopefully do his thing. Yeah, exactly. That's all I'm saying. Like, the fact of the matter is, Coach Saban retired him, right? It's just a different era. How you think I feel, guys? I played with Coach Saban. I know that whole staff and organization at the back of my hand. It's my whole family. It's definitely a little awkward, seeing new people in these offices, and it's different. But I'm just going to be patient and hope that they respect what's been built here, and hope that they All I can ask is they respect what's been built here, and they do everything in their power to uphold it. I know they're not going to be perfect, but as long as they respect what's been built here and are doing what they can to uphold that, man, that's all you can ask for. I think Coach DeBoer has been very respectful. Now I've heard some of these little assistants are gotten a little excited, kind of with the opportunity, but Coach DeBoer has been very respectful of everything since he's been here, in my opinion. Took a lot of years and coaches before one was found equal to Bear Bryant. Yeah, no, for sure. That's why, I mean, if you expect somebody just to follow in Coach Saban's footsteps and think this next coach is just going to duplicate what's been done immediately, it's not realistic. DeBoer knows he has the keys to a classic car still in pristine condition. Yeah, that's what I know he's good. I just hope the people he's bringing along understand like what they're getting hold of.
Here on the Miller's Edge on Monday. Hope you're doing well. Corey Miller, pastor of Payne Christian Miller down in Tuscaloosa in the great studios right on Skyland Boulevard alongside my man Noah, who's giving you these great sounds, bumper music. And we're talking a lot of Alabama football. I'm not shocked by that. Of course, I threw out the question earlier in the program. How do you feel Kalen DeBoer is doing in the recruiting arena right now after a weekend of Junior Day down in Tuscaloosa? No known commitments to this point. But many said they had a great weekend, a lot of good football players in. So I threw out that question, a lot of good feedback on that. Also, we talked some about the players, NIL, about the Missouri anonymous booster, fan, whatever he is, gave them 60. Okay, let me just slow down. Take your seat. $62 million. 50 of it going to upgrades in the stadium, which that stadium needs some upgrades. $12 million going towards NIL. That's Missouri, a team that won 10 plus games last year, won the bowl game, looked very good. A team that Alabama has to play this year, by the way. But now they got a nice $12 million in their NIL. That's huge. And we'll see what they'll do with that and how that's going to help the program. Now, NIL isn't just football. Unfortunately, in the Southeast, a lot of that, probably 90% of it is going to football. And that's a conversation on another day, which I think a lot of women's sports get overlooked. But people want to win, and that's what's happening. And if you're Alabama, you got to step up to the pot because people are now coming after you. Nick Saban, the GOAT, is gone. You got a new coach that's won at Washington and Fresno, and NAIA. On the job. We'll see what he can do. All right, let's go back with KJ. KJ, thanks for holding over. Welcome back in, I should say. What was your point, sir?
Oh, no. So, yeah, I had a quick point about, we were talking about what the mindset of what he does. The good thing I will say about DeBoer that I like is that he goes and he fixes his mess ups, right? Remember the recruit said, hey, I haven't been reached out to yet. And, it was like day 2 on the job. And you see DeBoer on, boots on ground, going to go meet with the guy, go talk to the guy. Same thing with the T-Rob situation. I don't know if that was all DeBoer's thing. I felt like the AD should have been in the contract already. You know what I mean? But regardless, DeBoer came in, talked to him, and and tried to give him the job again for the second time. After the mistake happened. So
that was all on Greg Byrne.
I do like the fact though that he does go and try to correct his wrong. So I do like that about him. So.
Yeah, and that,
he's a good guy, KJ.
Yeah, no, and
he's
even
a nice man.
Even to like I was saying during the I was saying to the chat about him, like if you listen, if you look at Coach DeBoer, man, and he realizes, I wouldn't necessarily call him his weaknesses, but just knowing coming from Washington, right, coming down here, knowing how important the recruiting is going to be, knowing how difficult it's going to be. He's taking those necessary steps. And in my opinion, you got to respect that because that just shows that he's, competent in understanding that, hey, this is a vulnerable spot, right? This is an area that we need to really focus on. We're going to try to get guys with connections, guys that can help assist in this. We're going to retain guys who we know are going to help assist, guys like Jamie Mosley, keeping Denzel Duvall, Josh Chapman, Robert Gillespie, Freddie Roach. So I just like the steps that he's taken, right? And I just think he's doing about as good a job as he could. Now, obviously, it would have been great to capitalize that junior day with the commit. But realistically, from all the reports that we're seeing, I mean, a lot of guys were impressed. Like I said, when I walked in the building, a lot of guys, like, they're having a good time. We had a full defensive line room full of prospects. So there's a lot of kids here. They're interested, and what they're saying is they like what they've seen so far from Coach DeBoer. And I think, they're off to a good start. And I think, again, summer is a great metric to kind of tell just because it's so early on.
And last point before I go, you were talking about Michigan players. What he did was he brought in, I wrote this on the app actually. He brought in Amari Saab and I think the other guy, his other brother too. But those are Keon Saab brothers, younger brothers, who plays for Michigan. He brought them in on their junior day. He just offered them today. I just saw it on Twitter. So they're moving, man. They're
Twitter, X is the number one place to get your news. I mean, X, just like we got about the kid at the quarterback. X is where all the news is.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm just saying that they posted their offer. That's all I saw. But I do know that they were there at junior day. I do know that.
No, that was a joke. But let me just say this before I let you go, KJ. This is my biggest compliment for Kalen DeBoer. And I've said this numerous times. I think people don't want to, when I say something nice, I guess they so used to me questioning things, they don't listen. But the biggest compliment is the fact that he took this job after the GOAT, after the greatest man to ever do it in football, college football for sure. And that tells me a lot about his personality, what kind of person he is. As they say in the old hood, he ain't scared, right? Because a lot of dudes been like, nope, I want to be the guy after the guy or after the guy. Then I'll take that job because now maybe Nick Saban has forgotten and maybe he's gone on. But to take this job right now, you better. And we used to say back in the 90s, you bet have your stuff right. Because you don't have your stuff right, you're going to be ousted pretty quick. So, listen, I'm joking about the good guy. Everybody keep telling me how good. Don't tell me how good of a guy, because it has nothing to do about being a good guy right now. What it's got to do with is recruiting. Alabama is used to having top 2, top 3 recruiting rankings. If you believe in that, whatever. They're used to being near the top or at the top. They're used to winning SEC championships. They're used to winning national championships. So here's the bottom line. 9 games, 10 games is not going to be good enough. It might get you through first year, second year, but after that, people are going to be looking for the next guy.
I think he knows that, though. I think he knows that.
I know that, but my point is, you bet have your stuff right. So I'm not going to jump over here and be a part of the chapstick team and just until I see something. Yeah, I know he's a nice guy. I would love him. I know he's a Christian guy. That means a lot to me. I know he's going to treat the players right. I know he'll help them become young men. I know all that. I'm just talking strictly. It's not personal. I'm just saying that for him and the general manager to get on Twitter like, boy, people really love Alabama in this state. Oh, really? I mean, really?
See,
I mean,
I think
they realize the animal, the beast that's out there when it comes to the SEC football in Alabama, because this right here is no joke, bro. This is not Washington. You got cameras following you around. You got beat reporters with dictaphones and cell phones.
Like, he knows it's not. It's like, see, that's like a dig to me. Like, he knows it's not Washington. Like, he knows.
No, those are called facts.
But I think he knows that, though. Like, that's like beating a dead horse. He knows that it's not Washington.
Yeah, he knows that. But I'm just drawing my point is until we see the end game, until you see this team consistently making the playoffs, this team winning the SEC, then the jury's going to be out. Because I'm going to tell you right now, that leash is not going to be long if it's not 11-1s and getting to the SEC, or 10-2s and getting to the SEC and winning. It won't be long, even at that rate, which sounds crazy, but this is Alabama football.
Yeah, but I think he hasn't even been here a month, and I think what confuses at least me is like, he hadn't even stepped foot on a practice field, and it's like y'all are holding him to a fire already. And the dude hadn't even had time to probably tie his shoes, right? Like, I mean, the dude just got here.
It'll be like if Corey took a DN job, and they're like, and someone's in his office every day, like, hey, this is Alabama. You know, you got to land 5 suits. You're gonna be like, yo, I know what I gotta do.
Right.
I know that. You don't have to tell me this every day.
I want them to remind me. I want them to keep reminding me because I'm gonna keep
have the job if you
like
need that reminder because you should know that by you.
I don't need it, but I don't care if they remind me because here's the thing: if I'm gonna take this kind, I understand, yeah, but it's cool for people to say it because sometimes you get caught up, bro. Sometimes you get caught up in all the other stuff. Listen, I understand. It's like that when you play pro football, it's just like that. You got to every day, every minute of the day, you got to.
How do you know he's not doing that? You got to do your homework. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying I get it. But my point is, until I see it, then you just a guy. Until I see it, I'm not the chapsticker dude. I'm just saying, but
you got to prove
all right, boom.
that you can win at this clip, at this level. I think that's all fair.
That is fair, but I think I'll leave it at this. I think the problem is
we got to break and get the.
We got a couple minutes, so we'll be good. The problem is you just see chapstickers or naysayers. You don't you're completely missing out the in between. Like I by no means I am not a chapsticker. I am very transparent on and realistic on what to expect. But at the same time, I have no room to be overly critical of anybody before they've even had an opportunity to prove themselves. So,
but how do y'all confuse critical with somebody just holding their feet?
It's not confusing critical.
It's not
just
critical.
No. What it is it is critical. What do you mean?
It's like you're giving a judgment on the end game instead of a judgment on the round. It's a round. So the first round.
I'm saying until I see it, I'm not overly positive and confident until I see it could be done.
I don't know.
You can't judge a dunk contest.
No,
yeah, I was in the Foot Locker Nike. I got the receipts. There's evidence out there too. You can go watch me.
He said you couldn't
judge 65 pound.
He said
sometimes you gotta rise up and flush that thing.
He said you couldn't
know.
judge a contest. You so heavy.
No, I'm saying I could because I've been in them and I know what to look for.
Oh my, KJ.
See the end game. All right, I'm gonna let y'all go.
Appreciate you, bro.
All right, though.
Creativity.
Yes, sir.
All right, KJ. See, I gave you a lot of extra time. You should thank me.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh my, this dude. Noah's rolling his eyes. I think I figured. I think you just enjoy being like the heel, like the villain.
Brother,
right.
this guy stinks.
Exactly.
I
think that's
Tommy,
what it
hold
is.
tight, Tom. I'm coming to you because I know you're gonna bring some clarity.
Shout out to Truett. We got Truett in here. Truett Young's in the chat on YouTube. Shout out to Truett. My guy Truett, Savannah's brother.
Oh, what's up,
He's
Truett?
logged in.
See, he enjoys what I say. He tells me all the time.
No, he does. He does. He likes when you keep it real, but he also is a big supporter of Coach DeBoer. He's not a chapsticker, but he also he don't just be hating though.
Noah, do you like chapstick radio?
I mean, I use chapstick a lot.
Do you like the radio, chapstick radio? Do you like it when everything is just positive?
But you're missing what I'm saying though. You're missing what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with not. Trust me, I don't like when I listen to people that chapstick everything and like I hear them. I hate to say this. I'm not pointing anybody out.
You didn't get no commitments. Why can't you just say,
listen,
it's Alabama, we didn't get no commitments?
I just said that. We finished junior day with no commitments. However, I'm reading all the reports, and what I've seen is nothing but positive things from a lot of recruits saying how impressed they were.
They ain't gonna say that. What are they supposed to say? Well, that place sucked.
No, they're not going to say that. But dude, you still can have a positive experience without committing somewhere. Let me ask you this: if you were a recruit, would you commit to a school that just got a new coach? He hadn't even been there a month. You still want to you want to feel things out and get to know people. That's crazy.
Thank you, Lord. That's exactly what I just said.
No, but that's not how you're saying it. That's not how you're saying it. That's the problem. You're making it seem like, well, they didn't get one. They didn't get one. Guess what? They didn't get one. And what I'm saying is,
my expectation of Alabama football, you should get some commitments.
Would you commit to a coach that just got to a school, hasn't even been there a month? You've been through this process. You went through it personally. You were with me through it. Would you do that? No. Answer the question real quick. Would you do that? Would you commit to it? No, you would not.
I mean, depending on
you
what
would commit
what
to a
it-
school
what-
and a coach just got there, hadn't even been there a month. They
Yeah.
just are still
Absolutely. And today,
Okay.
absolutely,
That's
because
cap.
they would just told me what a Freddy's bag is, the McDonald's bag for me to go get.
Seriously. See, you try to deflect.
Yeah, because
bro.
that's part of it.
You're trying to deflect.
Yeah, I'm sure about this because where's that money bag at? What y'all say it was? Over there behind them rings over there at the front door? There's a bag in the corner. There's a bag in the corner. This is how bad we want. There's a bag for you and your mom and them for that trip y'all made down here because you know it ain't official visit.
We just talked about
we can't
Tennessee
pay for
getting in
official
trouble
visits.
about paying that kid.
Yeah, nobody kid. Them people not getting in trouble. Everybody's doing it. They all are tampering. They all are cheating. Everybody.
So you think he should just come in off the rip, just throwing money out
extinct.
left and right? But kids, he had like
No, don't throw it out. You got to
No,
hide
no,
it.
but think
you
about-
see that bush out there by that bus over by the baseball field? Behind that bush is a brown paper bag. And no, it's not liquor. It's money for your trip.
Taco Casa.
See, he has to deflect when I put him on the when I put him on I call him out. Christian, you don't have a mute button for him. Trust me, I wish I did. Noah has one. Maybe I'm gonna come up with a signal where I can just signal Noah to mute his ass. See how he tries to deflect to be funny. To him, money in the bag. It's funny, but he's not answering the question. That's what I'm saying. Like he's not being logical with this. Like how do you expect to have a handful of recruits the guy just got? Like they're just meeting the guy. Like that doesn't even make any sense. Probably some of their first times meeting the dude. He was my dad played college football. He went through the recruiting process. I went through it. Like we both know how this works. You don't just commit off rip. Like that's what he don't even. He's missing the whole point. Look, guys, I don't like listening to people that are overly biased and all they talk about is just everything. Like half the time, the people that are saying that stuff, they don't really even know what they're talking about. They're just talking about what they want to be the case, right? I don't do that, right? Even I think it's just about, finding a way to, speak the truth, but also just kind of understanding, like, it doesn't have to be like, chapsticking or nice. I mean, there's an in between. That's why I always just try to. Christian, you're right, but Corey got me rolling over here. Look, man, he's entertaining for sure. I just wish he'd be able to see, like, sometimes he's hard headed, man. Jeremy, I'm all for honesty. I appreciate his honesty too. Like, don't get me, I don't want, like, that's why I enjoy doing this. Like, I want him to be honest and give his takes, but I'd also like for him to acknowledge when he's over the top with some of these takes where it's like that's not even like that. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't add up. He's just bringing the negatives to get the conversation going. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he kind of he does it to be fun. You know what I mean? He's just happy South Carolina finally ranked in basketball. Listen, that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. That he doesn't even realize, like with Shane Beamer, he used to be chapsticking everything they did. It was literally not even that impressive. That's another story for another day.
So
had it on mute. I was talking. I had the whole comeback, and I looked down there, and it was like muted.
Oh, well, that.
I was just saying how great of a song it was, and welcome back. He's finding these songs. I have no idea where he's getting these songs, but that's like.
That's good. It's good music.
These are all winners at the Grammys last night.
Oh,
no,
really?
no, that was great. That's great music, but that song kind of reminded me of Uncle Frankie. Watch out to that boy with his nice little church shoes on. He starts like spinning. That song reminds me of him. He's gonna have his cheap bourbon drink.
Yeah,
it was good though.
Sorry, I had YouTube. I had to mute the coming back. That's why we were waiting a while. They were like, "Where'd the audio go?" Sorry. Again, we are live on our YouTube channel. Check us out there. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like the stream. That always helps us out. Again, at the Miller's Edge every day on YouTube. Also, again, got to give a shout out to our friends over at Alumni Hall. If you guys are in the market for the latest and greatest officially licensed Alabama gear, head on over to the place. Yours truly, Alumni Hall in Midtown Village in Tuscaloosa, or you can always go to alumnihall.com. Check them out. They've got all types of deals, specials. Go get you a new hat, new hoodie. Anything you can think of, Alumni Hall has it. They got the best deals. And I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. So check out Alumni Hall right now, again, in Midtown Village in Tuscaloosa, or alumnihall.com, with the ultimate Crimson Tide fans shop. Again, and A-Day is coming up. You know you need that gear for A-Day now. Head on over to
I
Alumni
might
Hall.
be some fresh gear. I might have some shorts on. I might buy me some Bama Air Force Ones with my name.
Nah, don't do that. You know what? Nike gave us some Air Force Ones, like Alabama Air Force Ones are like crimson, white check, white sole. Got the Alabama A on the back. You know how many times I've worn those? 0. So you
let me have them.
You can wear them. They're 13 if anybody wants them. I'm very grateful for them, but they're just not my speed. Could not pull those off.
I'll pick them up when I come back down there because they might hurt my feet a little bit, but I can get a stretcher. I can just get that toe out.
Hey, Truett says A-Day is going to be packed. So I'm curious. I mean,
are they going to get some money from that?
No, man. Wait,
charge?
Does A-Day cost? I thought A-Day is free. I was about to say
free,
it's free.
But I'm saying they should charge it. They need to put me in charge of the collector because I will make sure we've had all kind of things happening outside the stadium that are strictly for raising money for the athletes.
Mr. Negative, do you think they're gonna hire you?
Yeah, well, they want to compete. They want to get some commitments on junior days.
No. Listen, you did have a great idea. I think, and we didn't really dive back into this, but the idea about, because again, these NFL guys.
No, I don't want to get into that because I got to finish that here at my school first.
But I'm just saying. All I'm saying is these NFL guys, unfortunately, they're not really just going to be opening the checkbook like you said. Right. But auctioning off cleats, jerseys, like those NFL things are having them come out.
I mean, I can set them up. We got to get Aaron Suttles back. I'm texting right now. We need to get him on the show. I got some things I want to run by him. He runs Yale, Alabama. Let's get to my man Tommy because he's had a long weekend. He probably had 3 or 4 dates this weekend and cooked some mud pie for his dates and all of that. Then, ain't no telling what he did on Sunday after church. Tommy from Romulus, what was up?
I don't know, but I've learned something. I'm going to buy stock in Mary Kay. Y'all keep on talking about lipstick and toe painting and chapsticking. I heard more people this weekend talking about the conversation about manicures painting their toes, and these were men. I'm like, I have died and gone to hell. I mean, I didn't know where I was.
Well, I don't know. Well, you didn't see it. My dad mentioned it, but he actually wasn't lying. I thought he was being funny. He was talking about Ryan Williams with his fingernails painted black. But my dad had his toes painted. And I'm not even kidding. He sent a picture with his freaking toes painted.
Oh, I know somebody else. I'm not going to say his name. Well, it was Ellis.
Oh,
Ellis told me, I had my toes painted. I'm like,
painted. Now wait, hold on. Now maybe the clear coat, like if
clear coat.
Maybe the clear coat if you're all messed up and you really need some assistance. But
what's wrong with that? You got to be.
Wait, no, yours looks
pink,
to be like
bro.
Kalen DeBoer, yours
taking Alabama's job behind Nick Saban crazy. If
wait, no. Do you really think? To me, though, I'll be honest. I don't think it's that crazy for a guy like Kalen DeBoer. Again, you always talk about his NAIA, right? To me, I thought he was the perfect candidate to want the job because for somebody like him, he's climbing the ranks so fast. It makes sense. So I'm not saying I'm not impressed with him taking the job, but it makes sense to me because you're talking about a guy who was just coaching NAIA and Fresno State. Now the University of Alabama is offering him a job. No. I'm saying I don't know if it's as significant as you're making it. Like as if like he like, oh man, I respect him so much for taking it. Guys, it's
Yeah,
the
but-
University of Alabama.
Ask Tommy. Tommy, am I right?
Yeah, to a point. Yeah, because let's just look at it this way. All right. 20 days ago, we weren't going to have enough players to play Central High School in a scrimmage. If you listen to the media, this state and across ESPN, I mean, we was going to have to go play West Alabama and go down to the league lower because everybody was leaving. All right. The dam, there was holes in the dam, and the little Dutch boy had a hard time keeping his fingers everywhere. But, all right, it's settled down. Okay. This is what you're going to tell the rest of the country April the 13th. If we have 95,000 people at that game. The dynasty is not dead. The torch has been passed. Alabama's still Alabama. The A might not be as bright, but you know what? We're still SEC champs till somebody takes us away from us. And there's a lot of good teams out there. Don't get me wrong, the SEC. So,
I mean that would be impressive. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they packed the stadium when Coach Saban first got here, right? His first year.
yes, it held 92,000, and the fire marshal wouldn't let no more people in.
Wow.
That was how. I mean, yes.
Did he have his pink coat on?
No, I think he wore a gray coat that day. A gray or check or something. I can't remember. But I mean, everybody like, man, we can't find a seat.
Well, I mean, if y'all are talking about packing the stadium and you're saying you're trying to collect some money, and I'm not advocating to make people pay for A-Day at all, but I'm just saying if we're thinking from a business perspective, $5 times would you say 95,000 it is now? That's $475,000 generated. So, and maybe you could have it where if some people can gift tickets to other people.
Imagine what the general manager,
right?
Courtney Morgan, can do with $475,000 right now.
Right. That way people aren't having to necessarily pay. You have people that have the means to buy more. They say, hey, I want to donate $100, to buy tickets, right? And then that way those are extra tickets to be gifted.
Okay. Here
No,
guys.
I'm saying that way the people that might not have the means to get in still can
Right.
get in.
Right,
I
but
think
here's
you
the
could
point.
do that.
It's just like church. You don't want to be the preacher that beats them over the head with what it means to sow a seed. So
right.
when I say sow a seed, like here's you got your tithe. If you don't, I'm gonna give you a quick Bible study lesson. A tithe means a tenth. As Christians, if you're a Christian, we're taught that you give 10% of all of your earnings, right? So if you make $100, you give $10. You make $1, you give a penny. All right? 10%, whatever that. 10 cents, whatever that, excuse me. I mean, so you give a tenth of whatever you earn, right? Then you have what we call let's just take an offering. That offering could just be whatever you want to give. It has nothing to do with the tenth. It's over and beyond. So you give an offering. That offering can be, you come to the game, there will be stations set up. We will have scan codes, we will have cash, whatever, people set up to take your offering towards NIL. Give what you want to give. They don't care. Because sometimes giving the least amount could be the greatest amount, because there's evidence in the Bible, Tommy, that the woman that she just gave one coin, the coin she had. And Jesus asked them, well, who gave the most? And there's people who gave all this money that had money. And people thought that they would say that person because he was filthy rich. No, it was the woman that gave the coin. Why? Because she gave all she had. It's easy to give out of abundance when you got a lot. Right? So it doesn't matter. I'm going to hold you over, Tommy. Don't go nowhere. Hold him over, Noah, because we're taking this time. But the thing is, you set up something and have people in the stations. And I'll have people in the station outside too. But you better get somebody you can trust, right? Because you take offerings towards NIL. Hey, listen, Aaron Suttles Christian was begging right after the game, after the loss to Michigan. Remember that?
See, it's the words, man. He wasn't
That's the
begging. He
worst
just put a
timing of the
video
world.
up.
South Carolina did the same thing. When they beat Kentucky, the dude went online asking for $1,000 donors. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is not the right time to do these things. But what is taking off from up for a day? I promise you, they get $400,000 or $500,000 to go to towards NIL, and that may get you 3 players, much needed players. Quick timeout, Tommy. We'll keep you over, Ellis. We'll see you right there and others. 205-342-9904. We'll be back in a moment.
Tune in to Tide 100.9 for the Crimson Tide basketball pregame show with Kerry.
What do y'all think about that? Tithing? I don't know, man. I'll be honest. I'm kind of tired of talking about giving money. Like, just need something set up where it's just actively generating money somehow. And I just feel bad. I feel like just continuously asking fans for more and more money. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, Mike. Maybe I'll auction. Not auction. Maybe I'll do like a what's it called? Like a giveaway on the shoes. Lord knows I'm not gonna wear them. Okay, this door is open. That's weird. How is pay-for-play money is gross. I need a shower. True, it said, will the crowd and student section bring a different level to these games next year, considering no game is a guaranteed win like our fan base is. I feel like our fan base is more complacent from the UF to the FCC. I don't know. I mean, we'll see, man. I will say, I mean, some of those home game atmospheres this past year were great. I think they're really good, but I'd imagine. I still think, I'll be honest, true. I think this year, I mean, we're still going to be a really good football team. I think the excitement of the new era will kind of generate kind of some fresh energy. I do think so. Give you Alabama concession stand in Bryant Denny. Could have like a little setup. I mean, but that's the thing, guys. They have the store in the stadium, right? You can go buy jerseys and stuff. 50 student athletes from 2023. Names that come with this. Yeah, that's solid. They're going to make sure you do your part academically.
The Grammys last night. I did like the one guy, the rapper. I don't listen to rap music, but what's the rapper name? The guy, was that him?
That was 21 Savage, but who are you talking about?
The one that played with Coach Saban, played golf with Coach Saban.
Oh, Travis Scott.
Yeah, give me some Travis Scott before we get out of here.
Okay, killing me on the copyrights, but
I'm telling you, man, you saw the video? What he did?
No. You know, a lot of people like to say that he's kind of the opposite of Christian, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you see his performances, a lot of pyro.
Was he a demon?
Oh, you know, some like upside down crosses, pyro stuff. So, just a heads up.
I didn't see all that. I'm just saying.
No. I know. I'm just giving you a heads up.
Well, if that's the case,
just
we
music.
don't want that. I don't want no demon on the show. Let's go back to a guy that's not a demon.
Yeah.
Tommy, go right ahead. I didn't mean to take up all your time last segment. Go ahead.
Thank you. Some people have called me a demon. Thank you. I appreciate that more than you know. No, see, this is what I was worried about. You know, it's getting to be a new day. And I was growing up. We got to go to A-Day and all like that. It was great. Since I'm from Tuscaloosa, I got great memories. We're going to have to charge for everything, and I hate that. I really do, because that's the base or the beach. Because a lot of families, if there are 4 of them, can attend Alabama football game maybe one time a year or one time every 2 years. The only time they can get in the stadium to see Nick Saban or the new coach is A-Day.
Yep.
And I just hate to see that go away. And that's why I'm pushing real hard. Everybody show up, welcome this coach, and say we're behind you and believe you. And another thing to put everybody's mind at peace. And I'm going to check for this from the Alabama fans. I'm one, but I'm going to catch. Nick Saban have left the program a lot better to Kevin DeBoer than Coach Bryant did to Ray Perkins. Coach Bryant's health was failing him. We all know that. And I'm not saying nothing negative about Coach Bryant, but his health was failing him, and they were using the age bit to recruit against him, like they were doing the last year or two against Nick Saban. He couldn't get the coaches either or the players. So after Coach Bryant got that 315th win, he kind of started to go downhill. With recruits, and that's a fact. And I know I'm gonna catch hell on Ron Fowler's show from other people, but that's okay. I told the truth.
I'm with you on just not trying to keep charging people. I mean, let me. I'll say this: people might not like this, but I feel like nowadays it's almost just expected. There's some type of tip for everything, right? Like things that you're paying for a service, but now everybody expects a tip. I was even talking about this, and I mean, just think about it. Like even like at restaurants, a tip was supposed to be like, if you really appreciated your service and all that stuff. Overseas, they don't tip. Think about it. Like, why doesn't the restaurant just pay the employees? We're basically paying for our food and paying for the employee salary. Anyway, but what I'm getting at is this, nowadays I feel like everything is just going up. Prices go up. You got to pay for this, got to pay for that, things that you weren't expected. So if that is the route they go, it's unfortunate, but what I'm getting at is I think, unfortunately, that's just kind of how we are as a society, now. Excuse me. So everybody expects a tip or a price increase.
Or a handout. It sounds like it's a handout to me. Maybe it's a whole different. It's just like, you do good service and you say thank you. When I used to cut grass, and thank you. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I cut a million yard when I was growing up in Tuscaloosa. I'm gonna be up front with you. I never got a freaking tip. But guess what? I wasn't expecting one.
Well, nowadays you better tip. Whether it's the yard, a haircut, everybody expects a tip nowadays, even after you just paid for the service.
Oh yeah. And it's
different.
And it's hurting people. People gotta make big decisions.
But all I'm saying
I don't know what to say, really.
All I'm saying is, Tommy, just do it to have stations that you can leave a donation. And everybody does most things by electronic anyway, right? You got a scan code where you put your Venmo, Cash App, Zelle. You can do all of those different things to give to the NIL and to Alabama. I don't think that's a bad thing.
Or just continue to sell stuff. Remember, we got the store in the stadium where you can buy
that's
apparel.
Too much work.
How is that too much work? Just put little tents up inside the stadium where people are walking around and have some. Listen, you would generate way more if people felt like they actually were getting.
The money gets.
Do you think people are genuinely just going to want to pull out their phone and say,
you got to pay for all these other different things?
Well, they might want to figure it out, because I'm just telling you, people aren't just going to want to pull their Cash App out and Cash App $50 randomly.
Just take your phone and just scan it. Boom. That's all you got to do.
It's not, but it's the principle. People aren't just
You
going to
ain't
send
got to talk to them.
cash.
Just have those signs up.
People aren't doing that. They're not going to do that. They want something in return. These fans aren't just going to say, "Oh, you know what? It's on my heart. Let me send $50 to the collective today, just because I."
It's going to take 1 year going 8-4, then they'll be doing it real fast.
No,
Tommy,
if you're giving them an incentive, give them something like a cup, a shirt, something.
1 year 8-4. They'll change their mind.
Or maybe they won't want to.
I'll let y'all go. Y'all got to get Ellis on, because I've already attacked Ellis. He's going to be mad at me. I talked about his toes.
I don't think you're a demon. I think you're a saint.
All right. Well, thank y'all. Roll Tide. I'll talk to you later.
Roll Tide. Tommy from Romulus. Let's go to my man who's been out again in the woods killing turkeys and snakes and whatever else he come across on his morning walk by doing his devotionals. Ellis, what's up, buddy?
Oh. How y'all doing this afternoon?
Doing well, Ellis.
Good basketball game Saturday night.
That's right, Ellis. I forgot
to Christian?
Forgot to look for a section. I was there though, but I can't even remember where I was at. You were in P, right?
Yeah.
Man, I forgot to look.
Yeah, I was on row 29, so I had a good seat.
Man, I forgot to look. I'm not gonna lie, I did get there late, and so it probably would have been hard to find. It was packed though, man. That's 3 games in a row now, I believe, that they packed the arena out.
And by the way, before y'all get in the basketball conversation, Alabama is ranked behind South Carolina.
They also beat them 74-47.
They did, but they behind them. Figure that out.
We'll jump them after Wednesday when we beat the Booger Eaters.
Y'all are going to play the Booger Eaters, brother, and the Booger Eaters is ranked. Let's see, I think they're ranked 17th, something like that. I got to pull up the rankings, but that's going to be a great game. That is a meaningful game that Alabama and Nate Oates needs to win on the road, and them Booger Eaters it's going to be sold out. They are hard to beat at home. Hard to beat.
I got a friend of mine that's going, but I don't believe I'd ever want to step foot down there.
No, we don't want to go there. But stay right here, Ellis. I'm going to hit a break. We got to get one more break in, and I'll come right back to you, okay?
Okay.
All right, you got time to do that. Let's go ahead and do that, Mr. Noah. Let's hit that final break and come back. We'll talk with Ellis and a couple of thoughts and comments the remainder of the show. This is the Bills Edge on a Monday edition, playing some great tunes. Can you give me that dude that's the demon that's singing? What's his name, Christian?
Travis Scott. We'll let him play him coming back in.
Yeah, coming back. I'm talking about coming back. With a quick timeout, we'll be back in a moment.
Yeah, there you go. True. Go get you some Lank apparel. Well, see, I don't know how does Lank only go to Jalen Milroe and Terrion? I really don't know. I know how people think, especially in this economy, man. People aren't just going to be dishing out money, right? I'm saying just like your average fan, like middle class people aren't just going to be, let me go on Cash App. Like they've got kids, they've got bills. Now, if there's an incentive like, hey, they're getting a T-shirt, they're getting something in return, yeah. But nobody's just going to randomly want to donate, right? You could do that right now to Alabama, and nobody's really doing it. Or maybe they are, and I'm just not aware of it. But I think Alabama is doing well, but obviously they need to continue it. I'll be honest, guys. I hope we're just getting closer to some type of solution where schools are allowed to use TV revenue or use their own funds, because I just think continuously asking fans for more and more and more, and technically universities just kind of legally they can, but they're just sitting back, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really feeling that. Yeah, true. So they made it so everybody could sell their own Lank shirts with their numbers on the back. I just meant like if it's just a plain Lank shirt like they sell in the soup store, you can go get Lank apparel in the soup store, but there's no like specific player's number or name on the back. I wonder who that's compensating. Since it's Jalen Milroe and Terrion Arnold, I'd imagine they're probably receiving those broad Lank apparel funds. Maybe misunderstand, but DeBoer offered the Arizona kid a scholarship from Bama since Arizona roster was open. So can he not contact the player he offered if the team's coach left? So that whole story, which we kind of had in the title and stuff, from my understanding, initially there was someone reporting that Coach DeBoer in Alabama had reached out to Arizona's quarterback, but he wasn't in the portal. So how it works is if they're not in the portal, you can't reach out to them. But since then, the kid's father, Noah Fifita, his father came out and said it's absolutely false, not true. They haven't heard from Coach DeBoer or anybody from his camp. But that would have been the issue, is that he's not in the portal. But we all know that doesn't matter, right? I mean, just like we saw Caden Potter, people send little text messages here and there, and it doesn't even have to be directly to these players, right? Half the time it's to a coach, to somebody that knows them, somebody's familiar with them, because they know they're not supposed to contact them directly. But yeah, Dad was pissed, man. But the website tweeted that he was retracting statements that he made earlier. So they were basically kind of standing their ground in terms of him originally saying that stuff. So We only got about 10 minutes left of the show, guys. If you haven't, man, we'd appreciate you like the stream. Subscribe if you haven't. We do this every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 2 Central Time. So, but yeah, that was an update on that, though, Joey. So nothing. I don't think there's anything coming from it, but that was kind of something that was put out there. I think yesterday. Then the father cleared it up. It would have been interesting though if they're going after another quarterback. Yeah.
Mr. October Reggie Jackson golf event. Last night at the Grammys. I guess he is a. Not gonna go there. Anyway, go back to Ellis. I'm gonna leave that alone. But he was, in fact, Nick Saban's golf partner. They took pictures together on the golf course, and I couldn't understand what he was saying anyway. So.
Oh no, he's got good music. It's real catchy. Look, I wasn't trying to scare you off. I just was giving you a heads up. You are the pastor of pain.
No, I don't support it.
Just was telling you that some people. It's not he's like some self-proclaimed. But it's just like some of his performances. They kind of give off that kind of anti-Christianity vibe.
Well, that's the case. We buying him up. I'm buying him up. I don't even like him no more. But I do like Ellis. We're back to the phone lines. The Christian Miller guest lines stick with Ellis. Ellis, 15 is the Gamecocks, 16 is the Alabama Crimson Tide, and 12 is the Auburn Booger Eaters. So the two teams that Alabama beat are in front of them.
Criminal, man. That's criminal.
Criminals.
We'll see, though.
Y'all was talking about music this end. I was on the way down Saturday to go Tuscaloosa, and I listened to a lot of Pandora, and this song come on by Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's the way of the world. You ever heard that one, Corey?
I think I have, and I love me some Earth.
That's the way of the world.
That's great music.
Yeah, it's got a good beat to it.
Okay.
And what Tommy was talking about earlier about me.
Tommy did say you were mad with him.
No, I ain't mad at him. What? Because he said I painted my toenails.
I paint mine though. Did you see my picture, Ellis?
No, I had some lady at the tailgate. She didn't think I'd do it, so she brung me some Forever Crimson the next ball game, and I put it on there.
Oh man! Oh wait! You put on crimson what? Fingernail paint?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
This one foot. She didn't think I'd do it, so I showed her.
Feet. So maybe you had tennis shoes on, covering it up.
No, I did. I ain't gonna walk. I ain't gonna walk around in public like that.
Ellis, I just sent you the picture of mine, and I'm gonna send it to Ryan Williams to see if he can beat my pedicure.
And you might be getting in trouble for something other petty because I don't know if you should send feet pics to underage kids. So maybe not do that.
That's a whole. See that you're way out there today.
That's not way out there. What do you mean? That's the thing, man.
Yeah, you're right.
I would not urge you to send.
I did send to Ellis is over 18.
Yeah, I would not send a picture of your feet out, man. Nowadays, man, people use feet pics.
Your feet were on what Crocs. Really?
You'd be surprised, man. There's some people that pay a lot of money for feet pics. It's a real thing, man, and they've turned it into a explicit thing, right? I'm just saying, man, you gotta be careful nowadays, man.
Well,
they have that foot fetish.
Definitely not me. You won't find me paying for feet pics.
Real quick, what kind of job is Kalen DeBoer doing in recruiting?
Well, right now, he just took the job, so
there you go.
I've got to wait. I got to wait and see.
Me too. I like that
right
too.
now, it's how long has he been on the job? He ain't been on the job long, so
3 weeks maybe. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Speaking of
gotta
that,
give him-
Alabama's portal, speaking of that, real quick, Ellis, Alabama's portal closes this Friday. So that 30-day window that opened up when Coach Saban left will now close for
We're on the
Alabama
countdown.
Friday. Yeah.
Guess what? They ain't got to worry about it. No, let nobody want anybody else.
Yeah, I think they're solid for the rest of this
Yeah,
week.
they're good.
Post spring, we'll have to see though. We'll
All
have
right.
to see. Well, Ellis, we appreciate you, brother.
Tide.
Yes, sir. Roll
Roll
Tide,
Tide.
Ellis.
We love Ellis. I better raise my foot pick.
Yeah.
Tomorrow,
Hey, no,
on Talking Tuesday,
wait, you
how
should-
many of you men out there get Manny Pettis? Is the question I need to know.
Oh God. So now, so
Ryan
you
Williams.
made fun of him for his fingernail paint.
Yeah, but his
But you-
fingernails was like black or blue, so.
You know who else did that? Damian Harris. He painted his fingernails black. You know who else does that is Caleb Williams. He does like designs and all type of stuff.
Yeah. Is that a new thing with young people?
I don't know. I don't do it personally, but
I mean, I put
ain't
the
no
clear on my
judge.
hand sometimes.
clear is a lot different than rainbow designs like Caleb Williams. He was even spelling stuff out, I think. He's quite an interesting cat. We got to get out of here. We got to make room for Ryan Fowler in the game. Appreciate everybody tuning in.
Ella say yes, sir, by the way, of my Manny Petty.
Well, I'll let you guys go have fun discussing feed picks. There you go. I got to get out of here. It's been another fun one right here on the Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9, 1230 AM WTBC, and also on our YouTube channel at the Miller's Edge. Appreciate everybody. Again, we are presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport Experts. We will see you guys tomorrow.
You've been listening